From the report, it says a sphere of influence is a plan for the probable physical boundary and service area of a local agency or municipality. The sphere indicates areas that might be served by the city. It is unknown if an area will ever be annexed to the city. Also, it is uncertain what type of land use is going to be proposed for a specific area. That's what the sphere of influence is defined as in your own document. That's 1, 2, and 3. 4, obviously, and thank you for including 4. But 1, 2, and 3 are very much responding to that definition.
What LAFCO's had to work off of is our general plan.
Well, that's a question. Did they look at our amended general plan that's sitting at the Coastal Commission, or did they look at our existing general plan?
Both of them don't get into these areas.
I have a question for either one of you, actually. Is there any interest in extending this process a little while and working with us on coming up with something, an alternative here?
It's a known fact that the Cayucas Pier right here is one of the most impacted areas from the sewage that's being dumped with a shared treatment plant there in Morro Bay. If you look out there, you'll see the stacks. It's right where the power plant stacks are. Frankly, I personally am sick of my fellow brethren surfers getting sick. It's actually killing them slowly.
And we have had 6 hearings on this, by the way, and study sessions at the LAFCO.
Not with us.
Well, we've invited, city staff to attend our LAFCO Commission study sessions, and we haven't seen anyone yet.
That's above sea level, and therefore when it melts or falls into the ocean, it forms icebergs, which essentially float below the surface and eventually melt, and therefore they immediately raise the sea level and permanently raise the sea level. The entire ice shelf, about the size of the state of Connecticut, or 9 times the size of Manhattan Island, melted, disintegrated into icebergs in the past month. This has just been observed. It's been in the news. Maybe a lot of people didn't understand what it means. Now, there are much bigger ice shelves. For example, the one called Lassen B, the biggest of the ice shelves over the water, as I understand it, in Antarctica, contains enough water that if it collapses into the ocean, melts or breaks up into icebergs, it'll raise the sea level around the world about 20 feet.
Here it is that as part of this motion, there needs to be an agreement that we would try to continue the MOA discussion before June 21st as a Plan B.
And how would we do that?
That's part of your motion anyway.
Worst case scenario, the Board of LAFCO will go ahead and reduce our boundaries.
And this is something that could happen.
Behind me is a hillside, and basically there's a runoff, a drainage runoff that runs right underneath the camera, right underneath me. And then if you look down where the green rock is down there, that's where this hillside drains through between these 2 houses. While in Cayucas, Vincent Navoa and I were filming the sewer lines to see what kind of damages occurred during the San Simeon earthquake. And what we found is that this sewer line that's back there from the house on this side is completely severed. And it basically has been ever since Brent Knowles did this drainage issue right here.
Over the next 10, 20, 30 years, very likely, the way things are going. But it could also happen next week, for all we know, because these ice masses don't just melt and trickle off like a nice ice cube sitting on a on a hot table at your beach party. But in fact, they have fissures in them, and they can suddenly break and collapse. So there's a 20-foot rise in sea level all over the world. We're sitting right here on Main Street in Half Moon Bay, California. Morro Bay, California, at an altitude it appears to be about 50 feet above mean high tide level. We could lose about half of that altitude in 3 days if this event occurred all at once.
Basically, what you got is a blast wall right here. Underneath these people's homes, you got 3 culverts blasting into this wall, creating like a natural little weir in Venturi. These look like about maybe 24-inch culverts. There's 3 of them. You got these blast walls, and basically all this turns into like a nice little channel that knifes through the sewer easement, which is along the back fence line, and cuts it right, and basically cuts it. And it's really, this violates, this is completely violates any kind of like building ethic.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I don't remember the motion. Is it to include the 3
Include
areas?
1, 2, and 3, yes.
And all the Chevron property? And this is a direction to the
To respond in
staff
writing,
to
saying
respond
that we wish
to what
to
they've
include-
said?
Yes.
Okay. I'll vote yes for now.
Okay, it's unanimous.
This is Comcast Local Edition. I'm Jack Hansen. Francis Jeffrey is our guest. He's founder of Circular Sea Programs. You were giving me some interesting facts about the ocean a few moments ago and how important it is in controlling our environment.
Well, the ocean is about 70% of the planet's surface, and it receives about 70% of the sunlight that's incident on the planet, and that's the main source of energy driving things here. And it also does most of the recycling of materials, including carbon dioxide.
I'm here and I'm pushing for tertiary for Morro Bay and Cayucas for our wastewater treatment upgrade, and thank you very much.
It's the line of the turbines. They're turning at, I don't know, thousands of RPM.
So how much left did it ever exist? How much about a third?
About a third
left.
You gotta remember, our electricity bill for this plant, which is tertiary treatment, is $500,000.